Hi, everybody. Thank you all for sticking around and joining us for our last presentation of the day here at Visions 2024. We really have enjoyed seeing you all. And we want to talk to you today about assistive technology apps, and particularly the ones that we use here at the Washtenaw Library for the blind and print disabled at the Ann Arbor District Library. My name is Katie Monkiewicz, and this is Tony DeRutier. We both work for the outreach department here at the Ann Arbor District Library and the Washtenaw Library for the blind and print disabled at the AADL. We're just going to be having a casual conversation about some of the most popular apps that we use here at the library in our assistive technology lab, and then some other apps that we've just encountered out in the world lately that we've heard about at fairs like this and different conferences. And then we're also looking forward to hearing about any apps that you've been using, so feel free to share at the end. We'll have plenty of time for conversation. Okay, so we're gonna be real casual about this, but the first thing that we're gonna do is Tony's gonna tell you about what we've got here at the LBPD Assistive Technology Lab.
All right, cool. Thank you, Katie. So hi again, my name is Tony. So our WLBPD Assistive Tech Lab exists on the second floor here at the library. We have two computers in that space. So we have a Mac computer and we have a Windows computer. The Mac computer comes with its standard like universal access and accessibility features along with voice control. It will speak or screen read what is happening on the screen for the interface if you happen to need that. We also have keyboards with oversized text on them for better visibility and legibility. So we have a Mac-specific one. And then we also have a Windows-specific one for the PC that is right next to it. On the PC, we do have JAWS screen reading software on there. It's fully licensed, so it should be the most up-to-date version of JAWS that currently exists. We also have NVDA screen reader software, excuse me. A lot of folks let us know last year that that was actually more popular now than JAWS, or was something people are more familiar with. It is free to use, it is open source, so does not cost anything to use, which I think a lot of people find appealing. And then we also have a CCTV magnifier here downtown as well. It's on the same floor as our assistive tech computers. And we also have those magnifiers at our other branches. So if you just need a magnifier but don't want to make the trip downtown, any of our branches have a CCTV magnifier within the public computing space. Back to the assistive tech space here downtown, the other accessibility feature is elevator tables. So there are buttons along the side of the table to adjust the height as you need. And then if you need to print anything, we also have a printer dedicated to the computers that are in that space. I'll also let you know that the Mac computer, we are going to be updating that. It'll operate exactly the same, but we're gonna get a brand new one. And then we'll also be getting a new scanner in the space. So we have an old one there now, but a new one is coming very soon. So we will have that as well. So that about captures everything we have within the assistive tech space. Does anyone have any questions, at least at this point? Yeah, go ahead.
I just have a comment about, I tried to use that screen, you know, the thing where the table moves a little.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
CCTV
And
magnifier, yeah.
I came to like socialize and read the paper and sit with the other computers, but I was like in the back area with like supply, like in the supply area where, you know, and so it's like isolating socially to spend your time and then going all the way around, finding a new magazine or paper, coming back around. So
I see. So that was here downtown,
yeah.
and you would like grab a periodical and then
Yeah,
make your way back
and
to.
Then,
okay.
You know, and then you're with no one. You can't share any news with anyone.
Okay.
And then you go back and there's the snacks and everybody's on the computers talking to each other, and it's like it seems like it's kind of isolated.
Okay, that's fair. So if I'm hearing you right, if it was amongst the public computers that are out there, that would seem like a good spot.
So you don't have to take a hike to get more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted. Thank you.
But it's just me, because I'm a social person.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
No, I
So
totally get
wanna
it.
get out there and
You are not wrong in
I wanna
seeing
make
that it
friends.
feels more isolated on that side, because that
Yeah.
space just is quieter generally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that feedback. Anyone have any other questions or feedback for us? Yeah.
You offer home services for people to learn in their home. I've done that for people, and boy, they really love it.
We do
And
not
it's a
have
hard
any,
thing to commit to.
yeah, we do not have anything like that
Okay, yeah.
currently. In-home would be super nice. What is your thoughts, feeling, if you don't mind me asking you a question?
Well, I used to do it.
Okay.
I visited people's homes, and they were grateful.
Okay.
Done on their equipment that they're so familiar with, even where to keep, their other items. It's very and so I was just wondering if that was being done.
To this point, we have not. We have mulled to a degree whether or not any sort of instruction or teaching happening here on site with our tech here would be attractive to anyone. We haven't heard a lot of feedback as to yes or no as far as that goes. So that was my question I was going to pose to you.
Do you know Nick Wilcox? Does that name ring a bell?
Yeah, I know Nick.
Yeah, I work with him and his wife.
Cool.
And then
Okay.
his computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to answer your question to this stage, no, we have not.
Okay,
Yeah. Any other questions or feedback? There'll be other opportunities to ask questions, of course. But with that being said, I'll turn it back over to Katie, and she can talk about some of the apps that we have on the iPad Pro, which is also in the assistive tech space.
Yeah, so I'm just going to do what I call app roundup. So one of the things that I don't know if any of you have heard of the Libraries Without Walls conference in Lansing. It just recently happened last month. I was there, and this guy, Dr. Joe Todd, who's a certified vision rehabilitation therapist, was there. He was talking about apps, and one of the things that he said was the easiest app to use is the one you use the most and are the most used to. And that really sort of struck me. It's like, saying like the more that you use something, the more comfortable you get with it, that becomes your favorite app. And I found that to be true for me. And that may be your favorite app because it works best for you. Maybe somebody else doesn't like it. But that just to say that like every app is sort of different for every person, depending on your use case, how much you use it. And as I go through these apps, you may see one that you're like, oh, well, that one didn't work for me. And I appreciate feedback no matter what it is. I didn't make these apps, so it's not gonna hurt my feelings if I say something you're like, oh, I didn't like that. That's fine, that's valid feedback for us. So we appreciate really any comments that you've got about these things. We just wanna let you know like what we've got and what we've heard is out there. And I'm not really gonna demo any of these, but it's something that like especially the first ones you're able to look at like on the iPad here at the library. And then some of the other ones I've heard some of our vendors talking about, you may be able to demo them with them, but let's just jump into it. Anyway, so the first app that I'm gonna talk about is my absolute favorite app. I love Bard Mobile. This is an app that's used through the Library for the Blind and Print Disabled. You can get it through our library here in Washtenaw County, but also statewide. If you ran into the Braille and Talking Book Library upstairs, they administer this service. It's also a nationwide program if you're outside of Michigan. So this is available anywhere in the nation. It's a free service, and this is used to listen to audiobooks. So you can use it on basically any device. It's used for Apple and Android devices. I like putting it on a great big iPad. It mimics what our digital talking book machines look like, if you have ever seen those. The interface looks really similar. But the thing that I really, really like about the Bard app is that these days, the books that are coming out on this app are commercial audiobooks. Whereas back in the day, a lot of times they were read by a volunteer or even a mechanical voice. Whereas now these are the same books that are coming out on Audible or on books on CD, except for you don't have to pay for this because it's free if you qualify, and you qualify through having a visual disability where you can no longer read standard print, so if you need large print, or if you have a physical disability where you're unable to hold a book for a long period of time, or if you have a learning disability like dyslexia, that's how you qualify for this service. And it's just super nice because also I know there's library apps that you can get, but a lot of times you have to get on a waiting list for a book. This is nice because this is immediate and it's professional books, and I use this app every day, and it's one of my favorite parts about working here. So I highly recommend getting Bard Mobile. If you're not a part of the Library for the Blind system, talk to us, talk to BTBL that's upstairs, and we can get you signed up for that, or you can always contact us after the event too. We're happy to help with this. And this is the one I know the most about, so any questions about this one, I'm happy to answer. The rest of them, we'll see. Okay, so this next one is Seeing AI. I'd heard this talked about in a previous presentation today by the Bureau of Services for Blind Persons. And basically, you take a picture of something, and then it will describe what you just took a picture of. So I actually saw somebody take a picture of a woman earlier today, and it said, this is a 37-year-old looking professional woman, and she looks angry. And it's like, oh. So it gives a little bit of an opinion there now, and she wasn't exactly 37, she was a little bit older, so she liked that part of it, not so much the angry part. But it'll also take pictures of, like, if you took a picture of a chair, it'll tell you that's a chair, you know, so that's kind of the point of this one. Radio Talking Book is an app that offers a variety of books, but the big thing that they do is newspapers. So lots of, this is from Minnesota, so lots of local to Minnesota newspapers and publications, but there's also national newspapers and current magazines, but they do expire after a certain amount of time. So usually when they're publicized, I think you get 7 days until they go away. So it's not something that's lasting. It's just meant to be like a radio program, basically. Clue is something that has come out, I think, pretty recently, but it's an indoor navigation app. So you record routes within buildings, and it saves it, and it can help other people get around that same building in the future. Or if somebody's already navigated that building, it can help you navigate the insides of buildings. This one's, and I tried to make a note, let me see, and I'll try and mention this. This particular app is only available for Apple products. So there's certain apps that we've got, because we use Apple products traditionally here at the library, that we've got that you might not be able to get if you have an Android, so I want to make a note of that. NFB Newsline, I think that they were here today as a vendor. We have a lot of interaction with them. This is just a news service. This is available through an app where you can listen to tons of publications. You get emergency weather alerts through this. You can look at job listings. And you can only get the app for Apple products, but this service is cool because you can actually use it dial up by phone as well. You can create an account on their website, and then you can call a specific number and listen to the news on the phone. So that's something that's nice about this one. iNote is something that is a little bit of an older app that allowed people to identify the denominations of U.S. currency. As some of you may have known or heard, our currency is one of the hardest for people to identify when you've got a visual disability, because there's no contrasting colors. It's all the same size. So this can help you identify what is what. This one's only available for Apple products. It's been around a long time. A lot of the apps that are using AI these days can do this too. So if you're using like Seeing AI, they can usually take a picture of currency and tell you what it is. But this one's been around for a long time. Zero is radio stations, podcasts, reading services that are all applicable for people who are blind and visually impaired. So they specifically curate certain articles, publications, and things for both people who are living with low vision and blindness and their family members who might be curious about, family members and friends who might be curious about what the person is going through. So that's a nice service that we like. Magnifier, this comes on your Apple device. So this is something that is installed already. You don't need to go to the App Store to get it, but we've got this on our iPad, which can be really useful, but you'll have it on your phone too if you have an Apple product. And since I'm mentioning Apple products and what's already built in on your phone, there's lots of accessibility features on that. And the App Store, or sorry, the Apple Store, do they have a different name for that now? It used to be in the mall. They have classes on the accessibility features that they have on the phones if you're interested in that. I've sat through one before, it was very useful. Okay, so those are kind of, that's a rundown of kind of the apps that we've got on our iPad in our lab. But then, I go around to different conferences and I talk to people all day about this kind of stuff. And so I hear about some stuff that might not be so great for us to have in the library because it's for use like maybe out on the sidewalk and we don't want people carrying our iPad outside. But that I wanted to tell you about that, might not necessarily be in our lab. And maybe you've heard of some of these as well. Maybe you heard of VisLens because this was presented on earlier today by the Human AI Lab from the University of Michigan. They've created this app that's available for Apple products. And what it does is it allows you to use the buttons on things like microwaves, washing machines, different things that you can point your device at, and then it'll tell you what button you're pointing to. This is still in development, but it seems like it's really neat, and if you have more questions about this, you should definitely talk to those guys. I think they've got a really nice demo going on up there, and we're gonna end a little bit early, so they should still be here when we get done. And this second app is by them too. This is Image Explorer. This is pretty common, like the AI identifier is similar to Seeing AI that I started out talking about, where like you take a picture of it and then it'll give you an overview of the image based on what's inside the image. I think that this one is kind of cool though. I haven't exactly tried this yet, but like if you're interested in certain things, so if you're interested in just knowing about traffic lights, you can take a picture and it'll tell you if there's a traffic light in that picture. Just using that as an example. Maybe you could do it for like people too, or dogs, I don't know. But it seems like that would be something that would be really cool if you were looking for just a specific thing to see if it's in your range of sight. Merlin Bird ID is an app that I use that was brought up in a conference that I was at last month, and I never considered that this would be a good app for people with visual disability, but like then it made total sense to me because what it does is you can listen to a bird call and Merlin ID will identify the bird for you by the bird call, so you can actually still participate in bird watching if that was something that you're into. So I thought that was really neat. And this is just like an overall cool app to track birds and see what's in your backyard too. So yeah, I know I see a couple of you nodding. So yeah, it's really cool. It's called Merlin Bird ID. It is a fun app. And it identifies over 1,200 bird species by sound. So that's pretty cool. Voice Stream Read Aloud. This is something where you can listen to PDFs, books, web pages, and things like that. It's AI text to speech. So this would be a computer reading certain documents to you, much like you'd use NVDA on a computer. You could use this on your device. Oh, I see you taking a picture, so I'm gonna scroll back. Learning Ally audiobooks. This is something that I like to mention because sometimes we have students who are looking for resources, and this is the one that I really kind of push for that because there's a wide selection of books, including textbooks, classic literature, and there's also bestsellers. But those textbooks are something that's sometimes really difficult for us to get at the library, and Learning Ally is a place that produces those. Now, the app is free, but the service is not. So this is a paid service. It costs $135 annually, so per year. But if that is a barrier for you, they do have an assistance program, and there's an application that you can fill out for that on their website. So there is a possibility of getting this service for free through like a grant type program that they have. So don't let that put you off if it's something that you think would be really useful for you. You can always apply for that waiver. I think it's on there. If it's not, we'll have you talk about it. Okay, Good Maps Outdoors is a turn-by-turn GPS app. This is for your iPhone, has outdoor navigation features that you might be used to with certain other apps, but this one says that it's got extra verbosity for blind users, so it talks to you more. So it's gonna narrate more than a GPS usually would. Maybe it'll give you a little bit more information as you're getting closer to your turn. OCO, this is something that I've been hearing about almost every day for like the last week and a half, I feel like. Everybody's talking about this. So this is pedestrian navigation that's powered by artificial intelligence, and it gives you up-to-date walking directions. This is supposed to include whether or not there is construction in your way, what's gonna be the best walking route for that particular day, if there's temporary road closures, other potential hazards. I saw somebody using this out front today earlier, and he said that he knew like all the abbreviations for traffic lights and different things like that, which I don't, but like basically he was saying in Ann Arbor, there is a pause that allows pedestrians to start walking before the light turns green for the cars to go along with you next to it, and this app allows for that. So it'll actually like tell you that you can go before the cars can go, which some other apps don't. So apparently it's like really connected to all the lights, and there's a bunch of technology involved in this and stuff.
Do you know if it works in other countries?
I don't know about that. I've only heard locally that it seems to work basically in the tri-state area. I assume it works throughout the rest of the country, but outside of the country, I'm not sure. But yeah, this is the big one that I'm hearing everybody talk about. Who else was talking about it? It was the Disability Network, Washtenaw, Livingston, what's the third, Monroe? Yep. Yeah, they were talking about this and saying that they really like this app too. So this is one that I'm looking forward to trying out when I get a chance. IRA Explorer is something that's been out for a couple of years. This is a really neat service. So they have professionally trained interpreters at the end of your call when you use this app. So it's somebody who you can call and you can actually talk to a person and say, like, which way am I supposed to turn here? Or what color is this? Can you read this information off this prescription bottle for me? Something that you might not want to ask a volunteer, which is something that I'm going to talk about in just a minute on a different app. These are people who are professionally trained, and they say that you should be able to talk to them more confidentially than maybe a volunteer or somebody or AI. You're going to get better results from this. This service costs money, but there are ways to use it for free. You can use it for free IRA, yep, AIRA, IRA. So you can use it for free for 5 minutes every 24 hours. So if you just have a quick question, you can use that. But then there's other places who are starting to pay for this at their location. I've heard that Starbucks has this, so you can use it for free inside of a Starbucks. Certain airports and campuses, and I guess all of the state of Colorado. So if you're going to Colorado, you can use IRA for free. So I'm really hoping to see this expand, because a lot of people are really like the service of having this trained person available to help you navigate things that you're looking at.
Are they reading a picture you send them, or?
No, they're looking through a video camera. So you're holding it up and they can see it in real time.
So my phone so they have access to my camera?
That's right.
Got it.
Yep. Okay. So this is a similar system, Be My Eyes, similar app, except for this is done with volunteers, and so this is free. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You get a visual description when you need it. You open up the app, you say you need assistance, and it connects you to a volunteer. I've signed up to be a volunteer before, and it rings, and you answer it, and somebody asks you a question. Is this shirt blue or green? Does it go with this? And you just answer the question, and then you move on. There's lots of volunteers for this program. There's so many volunteers that I didn't answer the phone enough, so I got kicked out. So there's lots of people sighted people signed up to help with this service. It's really spreading among sighted folks. But there's some added features to this app that I recently heard about. Be My AI is one instead of Be My Eyes. It's kind of play on their name. But this is so they're using AI to describe images. So this would be like if you don't want a person looking through your phone or looking at what you're looking at, and you just want a computer image or a computer assistant to describe the image, then this would be part of the app that you could use for that. That's nice if you're just like, is this, I don't know, is this a high chair or a low chair? Like an app or an AI would probably be able to tell you that. They also just started a service directory, which sounds really interesting to me. It's got more than 600 organizations and brands included in it. And these are just like, they could be beauty products like Head and Shoulders, I know, is in this, social media. And then, it could be like SpaghettiOs, Chef Boyardee. You can contact the department and it'll tell you the different accessibility features that they might have available. They can send you something that's in large print, things like that. But I don't know, I haven't really tried it yet, but it sounds like they'll connect you directly to the company that's listed in that directory so they can tell you about different assistive technology features that they might have or assistive features. That's all I have to share with you all today. So that's my app roundup, but I really want to hear from all of you. If any of you have some apps that I missed, or I can try and answer some questions that you have about any of these, I'll do my best. But I'd love to hear what you're using. Does anybody have anything to add? Yeah.
I'll be coming around with this mic here.
The microphone real quick.
You got this.
Thank you. I use Picture This for plants and trees and just shrubs, and just as I'm walking and I smell something beautiful and I see this bush with a bloom, you just scan it and it tells you all about it. In case you want to buy it for your garden.
Is it a free app? Uh-huh. Oh, I can't wait to use that.
Yeah, and you can pay it, and it tries to encourage you to pay. It's a little annoying.
Yeah.
But you just X out of it and press the green button, and it scans whatever you hold it up to.
That's amazing. I can't wait to try that.
I love using
That's great.
it, especially. Yeah.
She's trying to make you have a question.
Yeah, do you have a question?
You're sure? Is Picture This just for, you use it for botany, but can it be for a bunch of things, or is it
I
for
think
that?
it's just for plants, trees, shrubs.
Okay, wanted to clarify that. Okay.
Identifying plants.
That's
Okay.
amazing. I've actually been
Scan you and see what it says.
I've been looking for something like that, so that's a really good tip.
Fun.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
At like, the gardens and like the Nichols. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I just moved here, so I don't really know.
Yeah, the Arboretum, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be great. I'd use it just walking around my neighborhood because I don't know a lot about it, and oftentimes I'm like, oh, that's so beautiful, and then I have to send it to my mother-in-law, and no, that'll be easier. Anybody else have anything to share or any questions? Oh, you were going to mention something about Bookshare, right?
As long as you mention NVDA.
Yeah, why don't you, Jacob's coming over.
I'm right here with the microphone.
Right, so tell us about Bookshare.
Since you mentioned Learning Ally, who has books.
Yeah.
Bookshare also has books. And the good thing about Bookshare is that they have a lot of Daisy books that are print, and you can listen to them. And if there's a word you don't recognize or whatever, you can stop it and because it's reading from print and using an artificial voice, it will spell the word to you, and then you can go look it up or whatever. And I've missed being able to do that. As I've been a blind reader, I've misunderstood words sometimes because the pronunciation had nothing to do with its spelling.
Yeah.
And I find this is particularly true of commercial products, the things you see on shelves.
Yeah,
Yeah, in the stores, don't spell anything like what they sound.
that's true.
The cereals even are hard, but this is one way to sort of correct that. But they have a different selection of books than Bard does, so you would, and they have hundreds. I mean, they have probably a larger collection than
And I
Bard
can't
does.
remember because it's been a while. Is Bookshare free?
No,
Okay.
that's where Bard has the advantage,
Right.
of course. But Bookshare is not free, it's $75 a year.
Okay.
But Learning Ally is $135.
Yeah, it's cheaper
so-
than Learning Ally. That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
And that's a
Anyway.
really great tip about being able to pick out the word that you want and get it spelled and then being able to define it. I think that's
Right,
awesome.
and to spell authors' names and things.
Yes.
Although the Bard books, I notice more and more at the end are putting blurbs of the spelling of the authors' names, which I have appreciated.
Yeah, that's really helpful. I haven't
Yeah,
noticed that,
yeah.
so that's a good tip too. Thank you very much. Did you have a question?
Oh,
Of course.
Have you heard of 11 Labs? I've been using it to take a copy of my voice and narrate audiobooks that I have never read. So I had a friend, his 90-year-old father wrote his memoirs, and I copied his voice. And so I had him read his own memoirs. It's called 11 Labs. It's very easy to use, and you can have your own voice read anything you want. And so 11labs.com, I recommend it.
So do you give it like a voice sample?
Well, what you can do is do about 5 minutes of your own voice. And so it'll take that, and so you can store it. So I stored it as David.
Yeah.
And so when I have David read stories, it's my voice sounding, I think, pretty close, because I've been an audiobook narrator, and you never sound like your own voice.
Yeah.
This you do. It's weird,
That's
but it's
blowing
very
me
good.
away
So if
right
you have
now.
people that
Yeah.
want special stuff read in your own voice, it's
Yeah.
really great.
That's an amazing tip. Thank you so much.
11
That's
Labs.
really cool.
How much is it?
It's varying degrees of text per month, but you can, about 10,000 words is an hour. So you can do about an hour's worth for about $5 a month. So, letters, you could send letters to
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's
That could be really meaningful.
aren't able to do it, to hear their voice read their own memoirs was very special.
Definitely. That's amazing.
Is that an app and a website, or just
So
a website?
go to the 11 Labs, it's all done online.
It's all done online, okay.
Yeah.
Once he's finished up, I got the mic right here for you.
Very impressive.
Cool.
yeah, the cool thing about voice production that makes your own voice imitates it, and whatever 11 Labs or whatever it is the fact that someone who is diagnosed with NLS or Parkinson's or whatever can record their voice in before they get bad.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
anything that they want to send out in computers after that can be made in their natural voice. And so most people won't know how bad their voice really gets before they actually die. I mean, even when they get bad enough so they can't talk, they still have their voice. And I think that's just really cool.
It is really cool. That's amazing. Love it. Very cool. Anybody else? Okay, well, we'll wrap up. Thanks, everybody, for coming. We really appreciate it. Have a great day.